Yes, welcome back, everybody. Casey on tap. This is year 2, season 2, if you will, back and better than ever. The only thing we're spilling here is truth, baby. Casey on tap. Keep the buzz, lose the hangover, crack open a fresh take. Great taste, less filling. No, that might be somebody else's slogan, but you get it. Steamrolling, my friends. Steamrolling here into season 2. Thank you so much for being part of this fantastic platform. We've had so much fun so far. You know, I got to tell you, sports, in my opinion, they serve a purpose. A lot of grown men, a lot of women, they take it way too seriously. All right, you know who you are. Take it way too seriously. However, occasionally there are moments, there are scenarios that can be applied to this life. And last night, the Indiana Pacers, the NBA Finals, game 1 on the biggest stage, I'd like to present to you as a metaphor for life, something that we need to look at and say, hell yeah. How do we take the lessons from what I just witnessed in front of the world and apply it to my own life? The Indiana Pacers given no shot from any talking head all over this globe. Nobody giving them a shot against the vaunted Oklahoma City Thunder. They were getting 9.5 points last night. They're down. They're getting beat up. They're turning the ball over left and right. They look like a damn AAU team playing against an NBA team in the first half, but they never gave up and they never quit. And they were down 15 points with 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and there was no shot to win, right? Well, let's see. Let's just keep on running. Let's keep on playing. Let's keep on shooting. And wouldn't you know that the Indiana Pacers took their first and only lead of the entire basketball game of the 48 minutes? Wouldn't you know that their first and only lead came with 0.3 of a second left in the contest as they pulled victory? They snatched it from the jaws of defeat. And as a human being, how you can't watch that and say, man, those are just dudes out there. They're just people. Did they make a lot more money than I do? Yeah, of course. That's neither here nor there. They're just people who refuse to give up on themselves and the other people they're on the court with in front of those thousands of fans who are just crazily rooting for them to fail. Sound familiar? We're just people, baby. All right? So if you're struggling, if you're stuck, if you're in neutral, let's Indiana Pacers this moving forward. Okay? Doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, how many mistakes you made, how many times you turn it over, how many times you fall on your face, how loud the crowd is in terms of telling you to stay down. Let's keep getting up because you never know. As long as there's time on that clock, you certainly can emerge victorious. All right, so what's the latest? What's the greatest? I'm 108 days on the carnivore diet. Boom. 3,433 days without the booze. Boom. Trying my hardest to bring these perspectives to you as we grew like a weed in season 1. Thousands of downloads, emails, messages, conversations, parking lots, gyms, coffee shops. Case, I'm struggling. Case, can I talk to you? Somebody I know struggling bad, tears, crying, hugs right here on the shoulder. Your show, your voice, you help me see things differently. How do I stop drinking? How do I stop eating? How do I get out of this fog, please? Now, look, I want to be more. I want to be more to the folks that need it most. I mean, how do we become more, go deeper, make this more than a podcast in this second season? Turn it into more of a lifeline for those who truly need it. We're not playing small ball, baby. Bringing in doctors this year. I'm bringing in nutritionists. I'm bringing in professional athletes, behavioral experts, real voices, real tools, not just motivation, perspective, not just stories, okay? Strategies. Because I know for a fact, based on the sheer number of texts, DMs, quiet one-on-one combos, there's a ton of you out there struggling in silence. Just a ton. If you're stuck, if you're confused, if you know someone who is stuck or confused, this season, my friends, is for you. If you've quietly been negotiating with yourself, let's think about this for a second. About alcohol, food, identity, self-worth. If you've been talking to yourself about these things, you're convinced that nobody understands, this season will be for you, okay? We're going to bring the fire, baby. We're going to bring the science. Ooh, and here's a big word. Yeah, it's a tough word for the drinkers. We're going to bring the truth because you deserve it. Season 2, let's get stronger. Let's get clearer. Let's stop hiding. Start healing. Let's live. Don't act like you don't want to live. Everybody out there wants to live, baby. What a great time to be alive. Let's extend it. Let's be here for the kids, the grandkids, the great-grandkids. Now, I'd like to read a few messages, just a few messages that I've received recently, okay? To give you these are real examples, but there's countless. Casey, my brother relapsed, currently in rehab again. The last 2 weeks have been hell. I feel sick, like I should have seen it coming. How about this one? My father-in-law fell off the wagon. He broke his ribs, fell down the stairs, ended up in hospital. His kids are pissed. I'm taking him to rehab. Any advice on what to do or to say, what not to say? How about this one? My cousin, spiraling out of control, lost his job. How do we get him to an intervention? Or finally, my husband's brother-in-law, won't stop drinking. He's destroying the whole family. Nothing we do or say helps. He thinks it's funny. Now, do any of these sound familiar? Kind of. I see commercials constantly for booze, whiskey, vodka, beer, etc. Super sexy people, men and women. I mean, gorgeous. Dressed well, super white teeth, big, huge smiles, not affected by the alcohol whatsoever. It's incredible. It's all fun and games, man. All smiles and sunshine, right? The real life picture doesn't quite match what I'm constantly bombarded with on television, social media. No, not even close. All fun and games until it's not with the booze. Fun and games go away real quick, don't they? Well, they sure do. Humans are wired to seek out pleasure and relief. Alcohol is the great deceiver. It deceives us by numbing, not healing. What we think is a feel-good escape is actually a slow descent into emotional disconnection. Let's talk about the feels, shall we? The feels. Oh, that's all about the feels. You know what I'm talking about? We humans, we crave them. Joy, euphoria, relief, escape, comfort, connection. That nice after the first sip or the first bite or that first hit. It's in our wiring. We're all chasing something that feels what? Feels good. That's not a bad thing on the surface anyway. We're emotional creatures, my friends. We're not robots. Not yet anyway. We want relief. We want peace. We want something to take the edge off. And here's where it gets dangerous. The lies, baby. Alcohol, boy, does it lie. It lies. It doesn't make us feel good. It makes us stop feeling altogether. It numbs. It dulls. It softens everything just enough. We don't feel the stress, but we also don't really feel the joy. We don't feel the meaning. We don't feel the edge of the moment. Over time, we're not reaching for alcohol to feel better. We're reaching for it so we don't have to feel anything. And that's where the trap tightens like a boa constrictor. Because if you drink to feel okay, but it slowly turns off your ability to feel anything, well, then what's left? A life that's technically fine, but emotionally flatlined. Nobody wakes up one day and says, you know what I want, Case? Let me tell you what I want. I want a dull life. No spark, no clarity, no presence, just comfort on repeat. But that's what happens when we chronically numb. You stop feeling guilt, but you also stop feeling pride. You stop feeling pain, but you also stop feeling purpose. You stop feeling tension, but also intimacy, passion, curiosity, conviction, very important. And you start sleepwalking through your own life. Now, here's the flip. Here's the part that matters. You're not born to be numb. You know this. You're built to feel. You're supposed to feel the love, the ache, the sweat, the care, to get pissed off, to cry during a movie, to look someone in the eyes and mean it with clarity and focus. I promise you, on the other side of that drink, that sugar, that scrolling is a version of you still in there, baby, still alive, still full of fire. But you know what it's going to take? It's a tough word. It's going to take honesty. It's going to take discomfort. It's going to take choosing, feeling over fleeing. Because the truth is, if you want a life that really feels good, you got to stop running, feeling itself. It's not about being perfect. God knows, man, I'm just a walking, talking, stumbling, bumbling, mistake-making buffoon. But boy, I tell you, I keep getting up. I keep trying. I keep walking that path. I keep looking for different disciplines, for different ways to take that road less traveled, for that delayed gratification. It's what it's all about, baby. It's about becoming present, not perfect. When you stop chasing fake feelings, you start experiencing real ones. And that, my friends, is where life starts to get really good again. You don't need alcohol to feel better. You need to feel, period. That's how you heal. That's how you grow. And that's how you take that life back, baby. Let's go. You're not addicted to junk food or Netflix or scrolling or alcohol. You're starving. You're starving for truth, for discipline. Your soul is starving for it. The version of you that's been trying to claw their way out since, you tell me. And here's another uncomfortable truth. You're not going to find that version casually. It doesn't work that way. You got to become obsessed with healing, obsessed with clarity, obsessed with freedom, comfort, vaping, drinking, all these things it's a trap. Obsession is the escape hatch. Now let's talk about that word, obsession. We're told it's a bad thing, okay, and it can be in the right proper context. However, in this one, it's a good thing. Okay? Balance. People say you should have balance. And again, that's okay in some areas. Not when it comes to self-improvement. It's not. Obsession. Absolute obsession on what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're taking steps forward. Not scattered interest. Not, I'll kind of try this for a week. Oh my goodness gracious. Locked in, laser focused, no turning back obsession. That's what it took for me to reach over 100 days on the carnivore diet. There's no, okay, I think I'll just have a package of Twinkies sitting here on the counter because, in case I have a craving, I'm just going to eat one. It's not how it works. No, you throw it all out. You throw it all out. You stock your fridge up with nothing but a bunch of damn red meat, salt, water, cheese. You just start pounding it. Oh, hey, I'm in the mood for a bowl of Trick cereal. Have a ribeye. Oh, hey, I'm in the mood for a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie. Oh, a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie sounds so good right now. Great. Eat a big piece of ground beef. Shove it in your mouth. Have that oatmeal cream pie. Be obsessed with it. To quit alcohol, same thing. To stay off. To rebuild my life from the inside out. If you want to break lifelong chains, you don't need motivation. It helps, but it's temporary. You need a borderline unhealthy level of commitment to becoming who you're meant to be. Look in the damn mirror and say, enough. Enough with it. Oh, what are my friends going to say? Oh, what am I going to do at parties? You're going to dominate. That's what you're going to do. Be clear-minded. Be focused. Don't regret. Once you go all in and burn all exit ramps, that's when the breakthroughs start ripping in. False feeding is everywhere. It's marketed to us, delivered in 2-day shipping packages. We call it self-care when really it's self-sabotage, right? The late night scroll that turns into an identity crisis. The just one drink that becomes regret by sunrise. Treating yourself with stuff that empties your wallet and your soul. Here's what true fuel looks like. Waking up early, choosing discomfort, training hard because your body was built to carry more than stress, sitting in silence until the noise in your head finally quiets down. Eating clean, simple food, realizing clarity tastes better than comfort. Okay? On the carnivore diet, I'm not just feeding my body, I'm feeding my soul. Because clean fuel clears the static. And when the static is gone, your obsession becomes aimed. You gotta have a target. Aim small, miss small. Lock in on that damn target, man. Now this week, let's try this. Ask yourself this question. What would it look like to become obsessed with my freedom? Not interested, not curious. I challenge you to really think about this. Not maybe next Monday. Obsessed with it. Obsessed like there's nothing else that matters. Obsessed with healing. Obsessed with feeling good in your own skin. 100 days on the carnivore diet doesn't happen by accident. Sobriety does not happen by accident. Nothing worth doing in this miraculous, beautiful journey of our soul we call life on this earth ever happens. That's worth it. It comes easy. Stop flirting with growth and get obsessed with it. What could come in the way? The lies, baby. The lie. Like when flies come in the summertime, you get a fly swatter. Let's talk about the lies, the lie swatter. Not the ones you tell other people. No, those are, dime a dozen. I want to talk about the lies we whisper to self, just loud enough to keep your bad habits feeling very safe, very calm. The lies we tell to protect our relationship with alcohol. Oh, yes, relationship with alcohol, with food, with comfort. Protecting your current identity is what I'm calling it. We don't just drink because we're stressed. We drink because it's the part of us believes who we are. It's like part of who we are, or so we think. I just had a conversation with somebody, a good friend of mine who snapped at me because I was telling them that they had been impaired recently. And it was just very challenging to be around them. And they snapped at me. Well, there's things about you I don't like either. I said, oh, man, I was like, that hurt. I don't like alcohol. I don't like anything about alcohol. It's the devil and what it does to people. I didn't say there was anything I didn't like about you. I love you. I adore you. Just because, you got alcohol in your brain the way you did the other night, you act like a freaking buffoon, mindless, goofy, dumb. That's not you. Man, that was a pretty quick snap strike attack back, thinking their relationship with alcohol was being offended. Folks, your life is a direct reflection of the standards that you're willing to tolerate. It's that simple. So, yeah, maybe you're not blackout drunk in the alley. But if you're tolerating grogginess, brain fog, regret, shame, low energy, anxiety, you're living beneath your standard and you're justifying it with comparison. Sobriety doesn't just give clarity, it gives leverage. When you raise your standards, believe me, everything changes. How about another lie? I needed to unwind. Now, this lie is pretty slick, disguising itself as self-care. Change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change. So, is your nightly wine actually relaxing you? Or is it just helping you tolerate a life that secretly drains you? You don't need a drink. You don't need a life that doesn't require one to feel okay. Until you break the association between alcohol and relief, you're just rehearsing dependence. It's that simple. How about this one? It's my joy. It's my joy. Well, this is where the pain-pleasure association hits really hard. The secret to change is to link what? Massive pain to the old behavior and massive pleasure to the new one, right? The idea of giving up junk food or alcohol feels like punishment at first. The idea of eating clean feels like deprivation. Guess what? Your brain's going to choose every time, okay? It doesn't want to be punished. It doesn't want to be deprived. It's rewiring that it needs, not willpower. You have to teach your brain that freedom and energy and confidence, those are your new pleasures. Comfort food, booze, just a leash, just a cage. You have to associate massive pain with those things and massive pleasure to truly have that paradigm shift. How about this one? I could quit anytime I want. Oh, could you now? We call this an identity conflict. You've got the behavior of an addict, but the identity of someone who thinks they're in control. And let me be very clear with the booze. You're not. You're not in control. If you're drinking alcohol on any level in your life, okay, we all know it's now a stage 1 carcinogen. We all know it's poison. No benefits. There's no cardiovascular benefits. There's zero positive health benefits to alcohol. So if you're drinking it, the only logical, reasonable reason would be that you've got some sort of dependence. It's that simple. Now, that's a war going on inside your nervous system. And guess what? The lie will always win until you choose something different, right? The strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. I will repeat that. The strongest force in the human personality is the need to stay consistent with how we define ourselves. So stop saying you might quit someday. Say, I'm someone who does not need this poison anymore. Identity first, behavior will follow. Finally, it's not that serious. No, it's that serious. How do I know? Because deep down, you're listening to this thinking, yeah, he's right. It's irritating. Patterns. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And when it comes to booze, it's going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. The hangovers get worse. I've got a friend. ask their doctor to up the dosage of Wellbutrin, which is an antidepressant, but they drink a lot, which is the depressant, but they want to up their dose of the antidepressant. And then to get on Adderall, late 40s, as an appetite suppressant to help lose weight because they didn't want to stop drinking. I mean, this is a whole thing here, right? Pattern. I mean, it's incredible what we'll all do. Okay. It's not going to get better. There's no way to avoid it. Father Time's going to win. And the more that you have those bangers and you wake up and you don't know, what the hell happened last night, and the sooner Father Time's going to win and the uglier the fight's going to be. If your patterns lead to exhaustion, guilt, regret, cravings, lost time, get serious. The moment you stop lying about it is the moment you start changing it. So look, are you lazy? No. Are you broken? No. Are you weak? No. You've just been running the same pattern, protecting the same identity, telling the same story. And now it's time to upgrade the story. You want to lose weight? You want to quit drinking? You want to get shredded? You want to get sharp? You want to start sleeping like a warrior, walking through life with calm, fire, and presence? You got to stop lying to protect that crutch. You got to start obsessing over what's possible without it. Okay? Alcohol, food, comfort, numbness. Try to write the lies down on paper. Write the truth next to it, out loud, in your face. When you trade your expectations for appreciation, your whole life changes. When you trade your excuses for honesty, your whole identity changes. And that's when you stop chasing motivation and start living in momentum. Now, look, I want to do something different with you. Let's say for the next 30 days. Let's do this. Want to? Everywhere you go, grocery store, gym, work, kids' school, dinner with friends, you got to wear a giant whiteboard around your neck. Okay? And here's the deal. Every time you take a drink, you got to mark it down. Bright red marker. No abbreviations, no small text, no clever codes. Just, for example, quote, glass of wine, 8 p.m. 3 beers alone. Tequila shot, stressed. Old-fashioned, 1 turned into 4. You write it down every single time for all to see. Now, picture walking into a meeting with that board on, picking your kid up from school, running into a neighbor at the gas station with your board, with your honest drinking on it. Would anything change, you think? Would the number of drinks stop or go down? Would the times of day change, perhaps? Would your excuses start to feel a little thin? Because here's the truth. Most of us don't actually want to stop drinking. We just want to stop feeling ashamed of it. And as long as we keep it in private, as long as we can pretend that no one sees, we convince ourselves that we're in control. But what if they could see? Not in a shaming way, but in a truthful way. This is your life in real time kind of way. Because you know what the whiteboard really is? It's your conscience. It's your future self. It's your kids. It's the version of you that's still trying to break through. Now, flip it. What if that same whiteboard were to say, no booze, clear mind, slept 7 hours, trained hard, spoke my truth, didn't numb my stress, had a real conversation instead of drinking through it, sharp, strong, present, free. That whiteboard, that's your proof. That's your integrity in ink. That's your legacy showing up in those little red lines. All right, I'll give you the answer to the magic trick here. The truth is this. You're already wearing that whiteboard. Maybe not around your neck, but in your energy, in your relationships, in your decisions. Folks, people see you. Your kids see you. You see you. There's a deep psychological protection we build around alcohol. It becomes the most defended relationship in our lives, the most loyal, complicated, deceptive relationship a lot of us will ever have. Our relationship with alcohol, that's correct. Not our partner, not our kids, not our friends, alcohol. If you're still drinking, or even if you're just starting to step away, you know exactly what I mean. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people never say out loud. We lie to ourselves about alcohol better than we lie to anybody else. We say we have it under control. We say it's just social. Here's my favorite one. We say we're not like them. Well, I'm not like Casey. I don't drink like Casey did. Okay. We say we can quit anytime if we wanted to, but deep down, we know something's not right. The truth is whispering, nagging constantly. It's in the hangovers. It's in the foggy mornings, the shame we laugh off, the little white lies about how many we had, the energy we don't have anymore, the edge that's gone dull. Now, here's where it gets darker and more dangerous. The deeper we go, the more protective we become. Protective of what exactly? Of our secret. Secret that we're using something, the secret that we're dependent, the secret that alcohol has started making decisions for us. And when people get too close, oh boy, do I see this. When someone raises an eyebrow or asks too many questions, oh, buddy, deflect, minimize, laugh it off, get angry, push back, defending our relationship with alcohol at the expense of what? Every other relationship in our life. Now let that sink in. Have you done that recently? Has anybody in your life one time ever said, hey, I want to talk to you about your drinking? You think they just pulled that out of a hat? We protect the booze over our marriage, over our kids, over our dreams, over our own health. Because if alcohol gets taken away, what's left? A truth that clearly we're not ready to face yet. How did this web get woven? It didn't show up overnight. It was built drink by drink, excuse by excuse, laugh by laugh, deflection by deflection. And it worked for a while. Alcohol helped us cope. It helped us feel less awkward. You're younger. You don't feel the hangovers. You just think you're going to be that way forever. And you creep from your 20s into your 30s. You start to feel, it's a little different. In your 30s to your 40s, like, oh boy, that's really different. 40s to your 50s, like, what the hell's going on here? It feels like a freaking sledgehammer hit me in the side of the face every damn time I have 5 beers, but I keep doing it. It helped us numb what we weren't ready to heal. It helped us feel less awkward, helped us cope, helped us survive. But eventually, folks, time to pay the piper, as they say. The bill will come due, right? Chickens will come home to roost. What once helped us starts extracting from us. So how do we undo it? First thing we have to do, and you listen very, very, very carefully here, not just honesty, radical honesty. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do have to stop lying to yourself. Here's the first simple question. Am I being honest about how much I drink? My God. Ask somebody who drinks socially 3, 4, 5 times a week. Ask them how much they drink. Watch them. You want to see a freaking human being dance? You want to see somebody who says they can't dance? Ask them that question. Okay? What is alcohol really costing mentally, emotionally, relationally? If this was someone else's story, what would you say to them? Okay? Number 2, get outside of your own head. Your brain is trained to protect the addiction. Talk to somebody who's been through it. Listen to somebody who's been through it like me. Read stories, listen to podcasts, break the isolation. That's what the devil wants, baby. That's what the booze wants. It wants you alone in your head. When you stop being the only voice in the room, the story starts to crack open. Make it public, even just a little bit. Share the truth, even with one person. It loses its grip. The secret loses its grip. It thrives in silence. When you speak it, the shame cannot survive. Speak it out loud. Okay? Create a new obsession. Replace that hiding with healing. Put yourself into growth, sobriety, strength. 100 days of carnivore, 3,400 some days sobriety. Change. I mean, come on, man. I'm nowhere near the same person I was. All because I stopped lying to myself. Stopped lying. Started seeking uncomfortable truth and doing my best every single damn day to keep on that path less traveled of delayed gratification, to have a life worth living. Every thought, every craving, every uncomfortable emotion, guess what? No, sir. No, sir. Stared it down. Freedom. It's louder than any lie that I've ever told myself. Now, look, I know what it's like to defend the one thing that's destroying you. I did it for years. I also know what it's like to finally let go, to say, I'm done lying to myself. I'm ready to stop protecting something that's been slowly killing me. You don't have to keep wearing that mask. You don't have to keep covering the tracks. You don't have to keep sacrificing your peace to protect the poison. Say that 3 times fast. You can choose honesty, You can choose healing. Hell yeah. Indiana Pacers were down, baby. They were down the whole damn way. You might be down right now. You might feel like you've been down for a long time. But look up there. Still time on that clock. Get up. Get up. If you can only move an inch, move that inch. Because the one thing you're not's alone. That's the one thing you're going to get up. Let's walk. You can choose obsession with the truth, obsession with clarity, the version of you that does not need numb anymore. You wove in this web. You're not trapped in it. You built it. That means you can unbuild it. One decision at a time. Do it. Start with one truth at a time. You don't owe alcohol a damn thing. You owe yourself everything. So this season, I think you're getting the drift here. Coming at it. We're coming at it hard. We're coming at it fast, deep, powerful. Okay, let's rock some worlds. All right, let's rock some worlds. Let's shake it off. Let's get back into the light. If you're stuck, confused, stronger, let's get clear. It's your time, okay? So stay tuned. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Perhaps drop a 5-star review if you're so inclined. Share with somebody in your life who could use these words. Until next time, take care. God bless. Eat your red meat. Become obsessed with the path of self-improvement. We'll talk next week, folks. This is Casey on Tap, where the only thing we're spilling is truth. See you soon.